everyone, in today's video I'll be showing you how I created the Toy Story themed freestyle I performed with Bentley at the Kansas State Fair Mustang Challenge. The first prop I made was a 2-in-1 obstacle made from pool noodles. This is a jump as well as a raised pole to side pass over. The first thing I did was cut 4 pool noodles into 8 24-inch noodles. You may have to make them shorter or longer depending on how high your pole is from the ground. I used a landscape timber that I had been using as a ground pole for this prop. I cut it to 86 inches and left about 6 to 7 inches of space on each end for the jump stands. Then I marked where I wanted the pool noodles to go, which is roughly 5 inches apart. We bought a dowel rod from Home Depot and cut 8 3-inch pieces to use to hold the noodles onto the prop. You don't want to make them too long because you want the pool noodles to be able to bend. Then we smoothed the edges with our hands, and our first attempt at attaching them to the pole was using wood glue and sticking them straight on. A few got knocked off during practice, so we ended up drilling probably half-inch holes into the pole, putting the rods in the holes and gluing them. This held them a lot better. The final step was putting the noodles onto the rods. I alternated between blue and green. And that was why we went back and drilled the holes into the pole to hold the rods more securely. This next prop was my favorite one, but also the hardest to make. We stopped at Home Depot to get some spray paint first. For this project, we used 2 cans of lime green, 2 cans of light blue, 1 can of navy blue, and 1 can of purple. And we used 3 55-gallon plastic barrels too. I divided the barrel into 3 sections, and there were small rings that divided each section. I taped off the top rings so I could paint the top section of all 3 barrels lime green. After the top section dried, I taped off above and below the top ring and I painted it purple. I did the same thing for the bottom ring and painted it navy blue. We ended up having to paint the middle and bottom section light blue as well to cover up our mistakes. We used newspaper to avoid spraying any paint onto the sections we had already done. When the barrels were finished, the last step was to paint on the eyes. I used white acrylic paint you can find at Walmart and measured how wide I wanted them using my hand. I marked the 4 sides and then connected them to make a circle. I painted 3 eyes on each barrel. I used black spray paint for the eyeballs, but I would recommend using acrylic paint to avoid mistakes. The next prop was a Cowboy curtain that also doubled as our second jump. I reused this from R Us Freestyle last year and just taped blue and green streamers from the dollar store to it. We made the prop using PVC pipe to create an arch and then attached it to jump standards. I just estimated how long I wanted the streamers to be, but I recommend making them long as you can always cut them later on if they're too long. I wanted to add a Toy Story element to this prop, so I took 2 cardboard pieces and cut them to the shape of Buzz Lightyear's wings. Then I measured and marked all 4 sides so that they were even. I marked a 3-inch space on the long vertical side, on the bottom horizontal side, and a 1-inch space on the short vertical side. I also outlined the diagonal stripes, which are roughly 2 inches wide. I used white acrylic paint to paint the first stripe. You can tell I kind of made a half circle on the long vertical side, and the bottom part I painted white, and inside that half circle I painted green. Then I used red acrylic paint to paint the next stripe red and alternated between red and white. I put about 2 coats of paint on each one so that the cardboard didn't show through. I taped off the rest of the cardboard pieces and used leftover spray paint from the alien barrels to paint the bottom horizontal line purple. Then I used leftover lime green spray paint to paint the half circle area and the 1-inch wide short vertical part. Then I peeled the newspaper off, and this is what the wing looked like. I did the same thing to both sides of each wing. The final prop was this box we made last year for R Us Freestyle. I decided to reuse it this year. It's just a simple box about 12 inches high that we built and spray painted blue and green to resemble the world. Jessie costume. This is by Gap. This is only $5, so it's actually really nice. Like, looks like a really nice Western style shirt. Really cute. $5 so far into my costume. Before painting my shirt, I put cardboard inside the shirt in the sleeves where I was going to paint to avoid the paint going through the material and getting on the backside. To make the red lines on the chest and sleeves, I used the paracord that I bought, and I first marked where I wanted the pattern to go with a pencil, and then used a hot glue gun to attach the red paracord to the shirt. So I realized while editing the video that I did not get any footage of the pants at all, like nothing about them. So here we are, several months later. Obviously this past competition, they're very dirty. But these are the pants that I wore as part of my freestyle costume. My aunt sewed these for me because I can't sew. So she did that for me. So thank you so much for that. But basically how I made these are an old pair of my jeans that I had. They still fit me, but the pant legs were just too short, so I never wore them anymore, because I wear boots all the time and they just don't look good. So I was gonna throw them out or donate them, and I decided to just use them. So used an old pair of jeans, and then we had this cow print fabric from a costume class at a show we went to last year, so I'll insert a picture of that. So we just had this cow print fabric just laying around we weren't using, so I decided to reuse this. So all we did with it is she just cut it. It's sewed a little bit up here at the top, but if you see her costume, the chaps only go up this far, and then they're only on the front side, so there is nothing on the back side, so it's just sewn on the front. And then because I knew that the pant leg was short, I had her make the chaps a little bit longer, and they're kind of loose as well, so they are kind of like chaps. See, they're loose, they stop down there. So they are a little bit longer, just so they would cover like my boot the whole way. But yeah, so those are the pants, completely DIY'd. These did not cost us anything, so this is really fun. Like, I absolutely love these. They were so fun to see once they were completed. So those are the pants. So then the final look of the costume was the cowboy hat, Jesse's famous red cowboy hat. I did buy this off of Amazon because it really wasn't something that I could like DIY and make myself, so I just went and bought it off of Amazon. It is a kid size hat. I thought that it would be bigger, but it's not, and it actually did not fit my head at all. It looked okay for the competition anyways. You know, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money because honestly, I'm never gonna wear that again. Yeah, that was the hat. So the very final piece to the freestyle was, of course, Bentley's costume. So Bentley was obviously bullseye as part of the theme, and so literally this is it. This is his costume, just this bareback pad right here. We were not allowed to put saddles on them as part of the competition rules, because otherwise I would have just used one of my saddles. And the reason for that is they didn't want people to think that we were riding our yearlings. Kind of stupid, but you know what, whatever. So I had to go find a bareback pad, and I found this on Facebook for $20 shipped, so that was awesome. And it is exactly like what I wanted. Like, I wanted brown. This little white trim looks really, really nice. It didn't come with a girth, so I just used one of my girths for my saddles and just attached it, and it was awesome, and it looked amazing on him. So that was the final piece, and our freestyle was complete.